everyone. Welcome to another episode of Girls That Game, our monthly podcast where we talk about the games we love to play, our streaming experience, and everything in between. I'm AlteredCalyx. To the right is amazing featuring Flute.
Hello.
And together we are Girls That Game.
Woo!
Hey everyone. Yay. We're back. We're back.
We're back. How are you doing, Calyx?
I'm doing better. I've been kind of sick for the past couple of weeks. So I haven't been streaming. I know I feel really out of the loop. You know what I'm saying? I feel kind of bad. Even today, I was just telling you, like, I was down to like 3 cough drops at my desk, and I was getting anxious, and I was like, I need to run upstairs and get a whole bag of cough drops, because it's like my throat and stuff. So, but we should be good. I'm all stocked up.
Good.
And
Glad to hear.
yeah, it's just getting over it. What about you? How you been doing?
I've been really good. I was just telling you I've started back at school, so that's very exciting. I won't go into that.
That is exciting. That is exciting, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, suddenly I've got a creative outlet. I've got a bit more time to do my own thing. And I'm looking forward. I'm busy setting up a new stream overlay and setup. So I'm hoping to be back and streaming in the next week or two. Very excited.
That's exciting news. Yes.
Yeah.
featuringFlewt will be back, guys.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
I haven't even decided which game I'm going to be streaming yet. I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into the groove. But
Awesome.
I'm really sorry to hear, like, you haven't even been feeling well enough to stream for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's like the residual COVID. I had like a whole bout with COVID a couple years ago, and my lungs are still damaged, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No.
So, and the doctor did warn me I'm not susceptible to getting colds, easier or whatever than other people. But if I do get them, it's going to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
So a hubby went on an interview out to New York, and he came back. He came back sick, which is not surprising. Whenever we come back from New York, New Jersey area, my family's out there. Like, we're always sick, right? So he got sick, I got sick. Anyway, yeah, we're all sick. But from that interview, we are most likely going to be moving to the New Jersey, New York area. So in the next couple months, it's going to be really hectic. Yeah, it's going to be quite busy, a lot of things to do, but it's all going to be exciting times. So yeah, we have some exciting stuff happening pretty soon, huh? Like,
that is
you're gonna be
awesome,
streaming it, yeah.
Well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and good luck with any move preparation coming up. That is crazy.
I know. My head's already like buzzing, like with all the stuff that I have to think about, but. That's for tomorrow. It's like today we're going to focus up and we're going to be doing Girls That Game.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, I know you started school, but are you still playing Guild Wars 2? Because you said you were going to go streaming, but you weren't sure what to stream. So that made me think not Guild Wars 2. What's happening?
I'm very much a one-trick pony still, and I feel so bad. Like the last several months, I've been like, Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 2.
Yes.
But yeah, the game just has so much to give. And so I'm still playing Guild Wars 2. And the exciting thing now is that the new expansion is dropping, Janthia Wilds.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, the 20th, right? So do you have to do stuff to prepare? Like, is there like a pre-launch type of event? Do you have to prepare for, like, is there anything you have to do? Like, no?
That's a great question. To be perfectly honest, we still haven't even finished the previous expansions.
Oh, okay. So you might not do it on launch, but it's all, you already bought it? I take it?
I've already bought it, pre-ordered, because it comes with a few extra goodies. And like I was mentioning last time, I think the real joy with Guild Wars is that you don't have to do everything in order unless you're particularly wanting to follow the story step by step. Because it's all at the same level, it's all at the same power level for gear. So if we see something we really want, which we do in the new expansion, Janthia Wilds, we're just going to jump there and do that, and we'll come back and we'll finish the story we're doing at the moment later, and that's fine. There's no level differential. It's really just do what you want. So
I have to say, I really like that. I don't even know what you call it, that play style, their format, because it sounds like if a friend wants to join you play, they can just come right in and join you on the current content, right? As long as they have the expansion, right? Yeah. In Final Fantasy, it's not like that. Like if I have someone who wants to join me right now in current content, they would have to either buy level skips or whatever, or start from the very beginning. However, it's going to probably take several weeks to catch up to current content.
It's it's definitely more than 100 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like that about Guild Wars 2, that they could just jump right in, because you were saying like, yeah, you can go jump to current content, and then once you're done with whatever, got your fix, you can go back and continue where you left off. No, that's awesome. That's really great.
I love it. I think it has to be almost the selling point for Guild Wars 2. It's just so easy to do whatever you want. And the new expansion is adding some really cool stuff that we really want. It's adding land spears, so a new weapon for every single class. So every class has an array of weapons available to them, and each weapon offers a different playstyle. Maybe it offers more support and healing, or damage over time, ranged combat, melee combat, power crit combat. And so every class can be very flexible in how it feels and plays, because each weapon does something different per class. And the reason we are really excited for land spears is that spears have always been in the game, but they've been underwater weapons.
Okay.
Yeah. And now they're essentially just bringing them to land, because everyone goes, why can't we have spears on land? And bringing whole new toolkits with them. And for elementalists... Is it going to be
similar?
Sorry?
Like, is it going to be similar as in, like, what's special about the spears underwater? Like, do you know what the difference is going to be? Like, is it going to be basically the same thing on land, or is it new skills, new abilities?
Totally different. New skills, new abilities.
Okay.
The new weapons they've been bringing in have been quite cool. They almost have their own mechanic, like almost like a class mechanic, but tied to the weapon. For example, the one we're really excited for is the spear for Elementalist, because Elementalist is what you typically go to if you think, oh, yay, my fire elemental mage, right? Hemi especially, I always mention he loves fire. If he can use fire, he'll play fire.
Yes.
But I love the mage elemental playstyle. I love lightning. You know, that all really appeals to me. So we've both played and made an Elementalist. But they have some really cool playstyles, and they're all melee. The best weapons for Elementalist are all melee.
That's a twist.
It's
because I would think Elementalist would be like ranged, but okay, it's all melee. Okay, yeah.
And yes, they have a few ranged options. They've got the staff, which you think, traditional mage, but it feels very outdated now. It was one of the very first weapons. It really hasn't received any changes. It feels very lackluster. So the spear is coming in as Elementalist's long-range power glass cannon weapon.
Wow.
And it's so exciting. We're very excited for it. But in that, so for Elementalist, its whole little mechanic with the spear is that you cast sigils on the ground, you stand in the sigils, cast other abilities to power them up, and then unleash their special spell. So from what I understand, kind of a bit black mage-y feeling.
That's exactly what as soon as you said that sigil on the ground, I was like, that sounds like a black mage. Okay, yeah. In Final Fantasy,
So yeah, that's really exciting. And we want that. We want the mount that is going to come from the expansion. So we're going to jump in and just play it, and then we'll go back and do the rest of the story that we still haven't caught up on.
Do you know what kind of mount it is? Like, because you said that there's specialties, right? Like, they can jump farther or whatever,
Yeah, we're really interested actually to see how they differentiate this mount. So it's called the Warclaw, and it has traditionally only been available in PvP for especially destroying structures and stuff like that. So from what I understand from the patch notes, it's going to have some really interesting skills and some interesting upgrades that will then apply to other mounts and make the other mounts even better. So we'll
Oh,
see.
wait. So that mount has like an aura or a buff to make other mounts near you better, or your own mounts better, type of thing?
Great question. Sorry, I'd realized I didn't explain that very well. A lot of the max level progression in Guild Wars is in the mastery system, because you don't have more levels, you don't have more gear to grind.
Right.
So you kind of grind out these masteries, and each mount has its own mastery track, which is like levels you can get in the mount. And usually for all the mounts, the final level will apply to all of your other mounts. So let's say for your Sand Jackal, when you use your movement ability, it will dodge an attack. And so if you get the final mastery for that, all of your mount's movement abilities dodge attacks.
How nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's really
I think it's kind of
cool.
cool that it's cool that the mounts have their own mastery system. Like, it's incorporated into the game like that. Like, mounts are part of the game. It's like, it's not just for fast travel.
Yeah, and it makes them so much fun. Like, we just spent a lot of our game time unlocking the Sky Scale, which is the dragon flying mount. And at first, we had tried out the Sky Scale. You get it automatically in its expansion that it came in, but you can't take it into the rest of the content until you fully unlock it. And it takes a long time to unlock. So we're like, yeah, we want this guy. We want him in the rest of our content. We went in, we did the whole thing. But we also have griffins, which are our other flying mount. And you think, okay, we love the griffins. Is there any point in the Sky Scale? But there is. The griffin is really fast, but it is constantly moving. If you stop on the griffin, you just glide to the ground.
Okay.
Whereas the Sky Scale, a bit slower, can go straight up in the air and can come straight down. It can hover. So it's a lot easier for exploring an area where you have to find things. And you're like, I need to survey this particular area, and I can just hover here. And that's great. So every mount feels like it's a piece to a puzzle that really works well in the game. It's cool. It's very exciting.
That sounds great. That sounds really fun. Like, in Final Fantasy, I like mounts, but it's just more of a collection thing, There's it's only for fast travel. It's not, you don't do, like, there's no, my chocobo can level, I guess, for if I want to do battle, but that's, it's like an extra little companion to help me out. But for fast travel, it's mostly just you. It's for show. It's for people to flex and be like, yeah, I got this mount, type of thing. But
to be fair,
no,
there are
that's
some
cool.
awesome skins for mounts in Final Fantasy. And I think that's what I miss a little bit in Guild Wars, is it doesn't feel like there are many aesthetic things that you can unlock for free. So
Yes.
the mounts are awesome. I love them. But then I go, okay, I want a special skin, something that, customizes it a bit more for me. And the only way to get that is one free unlock, and everything else is a paid a premium currency kind of skin. So I do think that's a bit of a bummer.
It kind of is, but I guess the not flip side, but the thing is, I guess they can get away with that because it's there's no subscription fee, maybe, type of thing. Like,
I think that's exactly it. It's just you got to monetize something.
Yeah, exactly. They got to get money from you guys somehow.
Exactly. So that's my Guild Wars 2 story. I'm thinking maybe I'll stream some of the expansion when it comes out. But that's where I wanted to ask you, how has Final Fantasy been going, and how is streaming it still?
Okay. But before we go there, I just wanted to ask one more thing about the expansion.
Yeah.
Like, I heard there's player housing coming out with this, right?
Yes.
Like,
and
is there, so there's no player housing right now?
There isn't. And I was so confused. It's something I've only recently found out, because it's not, again, Guild Wars, amazing game. Not good at introducing you to all the content it has. I heard people talking about a home instance in Guild Wars 2. And I went, oh, that must be like your own little player housing. But no, it's not. It's just when you go to your race's home city, you can go to a home instance that will spawn stuff for you. So like mining nodes, tree nodes, gathering nodes, that sort of thing. And that's about it. But it's definitely not player housing, it turns out. So yeah, this will be the first player housing.
Oh, okay, so this is going to be coming out. Okay, so yeah, I saw glimpses of it and I was like wondering like, oh, how is that going to turn out? So you have something else brand new to look forward to, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good for the players who do want that sort of thing. I can't believe it hasn't been in the game before.
Do you know if there's going to be, can anyone get it? Or is there, like in Final Fantasy, there's a lottery system right now for player housing. Like, do you know if Guild Wars 2 will have, like everyone has access to their own player housing, or do you have to go out of your way and try to bid for it, try to click for it or something?
Yeah, genuinely no idea.
Okay.
So I'll be looking forward to trying that out in a few days, and I'll update you next time.
Yeah, so next month we have that to look forward to. Yeah, because I was like, oh, player housing. Because let me tell you, we just got our first free companies guild in Final Fantasy housing in Final Fantasy. This has taken, I mean, I wanted to say years at first because I've been trying to get a house, like even before I took a break in Final Fantasy. But back then when I was playing a few years ago, it was not a lottery system. And you literally had to go to the plot and just spam click. You didn't even know when it was going to go up for sale. You just knew it was available. But, and it could be hours or minutes or whatever before it would actually show up to be on sale. And then you got to click on it. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to waste my time for like hours trying to click on a button, right? So then they introduced a lottery system, which was very fair. But some people are complaining it's a little too fair. So how it works now is you put in a bid. You see that a plot goes up for sale, and you have the option to apply for it, I guess, but I just call it bid or what you're bidding on it. And you get a number, your lottery number type of thing. So if you win it, you get it. If not, you have to do the walk of shame, go back to the land plot, and pick up your money. So it's like they don't just refund it to you. Nope, you got to do the walk of shame and go to the. I know. They have 3 different sizing plots of land: small, medium, large. We got a small, and it's even like when we first started Dawn Trail, I was trying to put a bid on a house, and even though I was like only the 3rd person on it, I would lose or something. And some of these houses, like, because it's all about location, just like real housing, right? So this one area called the Lavender Beds has like a waterfall in the background. It has its own little bridge to the plot of land. That one had like 60 applicants for it. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be winning that one, right? So I didn't even try on that one. But then we went to a different district, and this district is just not a popular one. It was just like some of the houses had 0 applicants. I was like, oh, okay. So I'll just apply for it. So yeah, so hubby and I put in a bid for this one house it's the residential district. It's called Imperium. It's in Ishgard. And we won it. We were the only 2 bidders on it. I was like, what?
No
But it turns out it was only for free companies, might be the reason why. So no, it wasn't available to a personal housing. So I was like, that's fine. I wanted it for a free company anyway, so yeah, so it's really exciting. And I thought I was just going to have a functional house. I was like, we just want, a mender there, a mailbox, some, just a chocobo stable, a garden, just very functional. I was like, I'm not even going to spend time like decorating it. But as soon as we got it, both hubby and I, because we had accumulated like bits and baubles of like furnishings, because, you get it from either quest rewards or from the retainers. And we decorated our place, and I was like, this looks pretty nice. And so we just we're so happy with it. We're like, this place looks really cool. And you can play music in it too, you can it's Orchestrion. It's like a jukebox, and you put in Orchestrion what is it, rolls or something, some music that you accumulated also either from quest rewards or drops or something. And So we have some banging music in our free company house. It's really great, and
That's
we're
so
loving it.
good.
So, yeah, I hope Guild Wars 2 housing is gonna be really fun too. Like, I'm interested in hearing all about it because I didn't think it was gonna be fun, but evidently it is. Housing is pretty fun.
Right? Oh, I'm so glad you got it. I'm really curious. What drives up a like demand in a particular area?
So a lot of it, I think, is aesthetic. So the place that we ended up in, it's more austere, more like kind of cold because it's wintry there for some reason. So you see like some
Ah.
snowflakes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then the Goblet, which is more of in a desert area, I guess, like an oasis area. So there's a big swimming pool in the center, and there's houses all around it, and there's some mountain views in the outskirts. There's one in it's called the Mists. It's part of Limsa's residential area, and that one is you get beachfront property. It kind of looks like when you see. I've never been to Greece, but you see pictures of blue waters and white buildings. It's kind of like that's all like white buildings. What's the other one? Lavender Beds is the district from Gridania, and that's more. It's almost kind of Hobbit-ish. It's very green, like a lot of greenery, flowers, waterfalls, etc. So that's I felt it looks really lush. And then there's one more. Shirogane. I forgot what's one, but it's the Kugani one. So it's all Asian themed, like Japanese, the buildings and stuff, the Asian buildings.
Yeah.
So it's all different like that. And I guess people just like certain aesthetics, So
Yeah. Okay.
a lot of people don't. Yeah. So, but the one, like I said, that had 60 applicants, I can see it. When I first saw it, I was like, whoa, this is so nice. There's a waterfall right in the back. It's a bridge to just your one house. It's not a bridge to another like section. It's a bridge to your house. I was
That
like,
is really
this
cool.
is freaking, yeah, I was like, this is freaking awesome. But the thing is, it's not just, so there's 60 people who want it. And I'm sure there's like rich people, but it's capped. Like a small plot is in the 3 million range, like 3 million to 3.7 million gil, I think. Medium houses, I think, start at like 15 million gil to I don't know how many, 20 maybe. And I think I saw a large house for 60 million gil. So
Oh my gosh.
you got to be pretty rich to get these things. So
Yeah. Wow.
so we just got a small. That's why I was wondering how Guild Wars 2 was going to do. I was like, is there a lottery system or does everyone just get their own housing? It's so because I've.
I find it so fascinating how Final Fantasy does it because every other game I've played that has, personal housing is just like a personal instance. Everyone gets a base to decorate. And the fact that Final Fantasy genuinely has like actual plots of houses on a housing map with demand is both another level of immersion.
Yeah.
And also, I both love it for that level of immersion of like, oh my goodness, you've actually got to go find your house and choose a plot you like and whatnot. But it also feels very strange to me coming from games that just let you have a place to decorate.
And I think the part of the reason is they said, the Final Fantasy people, they said they wanted a sense of, I don't know if it's necessarily immersion, but community. So you see other people in your, neighborhood type of thing, which if you're in like one of the more popular areas, like I think the one off of Kugani, it's like Shiro. I know they abbreviate to Shiro, but I don't know what the full name is. That one, they said you'll see a lot of people. It's quite bustling, like outside. Like, so if you want to go inside your house, it's instanced, so you have to click on it to go inside. But once you're outside, that neighborhood, it's all, a zone, so you can see other people and all that kind of stuff. So they said that it's, pretty bustling and you will see other people. And so in our little area, it's quite dead. It's like we're the only two people living. Like there's houses and people live there because it's decorated, but I've yet to see another person.
Really?
Walking or traveling, outside or something. So it's quite dead.
That's a bit sad because it sounds like a great idea when it is bustling.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like, then there is some immersion, right? It's like, oh, your neighbors, wave to your neighbors type of thing. But so I don't know. We might move to a bigger one sometime later on just to see what the hype is about. But we're quite happy with our little small house and stuff, so it's pretty fun. I love it.
Very
it's really
good.
cool. Oh, the reason I wanted a free company house is because they have this thing called a free company has an access to like a workshop, and from the workshop you can create other things. And one of the things that you can create was a submersible. You can create an aircraft, a submersible, some other stuff too. But these are the ones that I heard. The submarine, people call it. They can make you money. So I was like, I want to make money, you know? So I was like, so it's kind of like, I don't know if you remember in Final Fantasy, but you have retainers and you send them off and they bring back stuff, right? So this is like kind of like that, but on a bigger scale. So you send out the submarine, takes like several hours, it comes back and it brings its haul. And so, and it levels up. It maps new territories, and you're exploring new territories. And I guess the deeper you go, the higher rank you are, the more valuable stuff it brings. And I read online, someone said that sometimes a sub can bring back like 500K worth of stuff, like to sell or whatever. I was like, I'd like to see that kind of money. Right?
Yeah. Hit me up.
Yeah, I know, right? So I was like, okay, let me try it. But the thing is, they're talking, I'm sure, at max level. I think it's over like a rank 101 or something like that. I'm like rank 3 right now because I just started, right? So it's going to be quite a while. And you can have up to 4 submarines. I only have 1. I'm sure, you know, it unlocks later on. So I'm far from making the 500K gil hauls, but I wanted to work up to it. So right now it's a money sink. I've been just, you know, paying for repairs, paying for all these parts. No. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. With Final Fantasy, the plot of, you're paying for the plot of land. Then you have to buy a building permit. Yeah. Which is like, for a small house, I don't know, it was like 450K, 400K like gil to buy a building permit. And then on top of that, you can decorate. But I just thought it was kind of funny. I was like, I know. It's not just, yeah, here, you bought it and here, nope, you gotta do all some a little bit extra stuff, which made me think, I was like, is there like, do I have to pay a mortgage?
Yeah, this is too much realism. Hold on.
Right? But there's no monthly fee or anything. So. Yeah, I know. Jeez. That was I know, because I was like, well, what's all this stuff? Why all these added fees? But yeah, it's all good.
Fair. I have to admit, I got very excited when you said submarine. I was like, can you go in the submarine?
Oh, I know, right? Wouldn't that be cool? No, yeah, you just send it out and then they come back.
But still, yeah.
It's fun that they added that. And this is the thing, like, this is not my first time trying out Final Fantasy. You know, I've tried it a couple times back when Stormblood came out, Shadowbringers, Endwalkers. Like every time there was an expansion from Shadowbringers onward, we came back, right? But I didn't do any of this stuff. I mean, I knew about housing, but like I said, it was a nightmare to try to get a housing. So now that there's Lottery System, we did it and we got it. And now it's like whole new content opened up, right? It's like I'm doing all the stuff that I did not do before, that was not available to me. So it's kind of fun. I'm still, like you said, a one-trick pony. I've just been going hard on Final Fantasy 14. And it's like, yeah, it's fun, but I almost think like, well, I need to start playing a different game because I feel like I can't stream Final Fantasy 14. And I don't know when you start streaming if you're going to, you know, experience this too. But to me, like I like, you know, especially when I was sick, it was really peaceful or whatever to just, you know, farm, grind out, you know, certain area, you know, explore things, you know, and just, but I'm sure that's boring to watch, right? Because I'm not doing anything fun. But for me as a, you know, because I'm recovering and I was like, this is great. I'm just zoning out. You know, I got, you know, YouTube, you know, video, whatever going off on the side. You know,
I understand completely.
Yes. So yeah, I think like you were saying, I might try to stream a different game. So I might do part-time, like, you know, 2 days of, you know, a streaming game, and then the other times, you know, playing Final Fantasy because I gotta get my Final Fantasy fix, you know.
Yes, I think I might end up doing something similar. Of maybe I stream the new expansion story. And then I do the grinding, the farming, the whatever else off stream, and leave in another more story-focused game. Because
the story makes sense. Like even for Final Fantasy, I did story and I felt like it was focused enough and there was a purpose, you know? So I think, streaming the story is going to be great. But yeah, just like you, I'm like, I don't think I want to stream farming stuff, you know, whatever. It's kind of, I don't know. It's great for me, but for viewing, I'm like, do people really want to see me farm?
Yeah, fun, relaxing, repetitive farming is great for chilling, zoning out, getting the stuff you want, having another video up while you're doing it. But it's, at least for me, I feel like I would not be engaged as a viewer, and I feel bad trying to make that engaging.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how do I make this fun? Like, but do I really want to put in extra effort to make something fun when it's not? It's like,
yes. It's like,
hype up farming.
Doing this because it's relaxing, and then adding the mental strain of trying to make it entertaining. I feel like I'm missing the point.
Exactly.
Yeah. I understand.
The other thing is Final Fantasy. Another new milestone, I guess. All my crafters and gatherers are level 100 now, which is like,
well done.
it's great. Yeah, I feel accomplished, but now I'm like, how do I make money off of this now? Because people are like, oh, you make money from crafting. I'm like,
how?
I don't know how yet. Yeah, I don't know how yet. I still have to figure that part out. But yeah, so there's still more to do in terms of that. For you in Guild Wars 2, like, I'm sure there must be farming stuff that you're going towards. Like, are you working on legendary weapons? Like, what are you doing?
So much. So, like I said, we have just finished our farming for the Sky Scale mount, the dragon.
Wait, when you say farm for it, what are you doing? Like,
oh yeah, so it's thoughts in order. Hold on, before I go on a big rambling nonsense spree. So, like I said, there's the mastery progression for late game. There's also achievements. And those two combined will kind of be how you unlock everything and progress in the late game of Guild Wars 2. So, the Sky Scale is an achievement that you work through that then unlocks another achievement that you work through that then unlocks another achievement.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So it started with talk to the Sky Scale trainer, and she says, go find a Sky Scale egg, and you just have to wander around the map checking Sky Scale eggs with a random chance, nests, checking nests with a random chance that you'll find an egg. So that was what we did for a little while. And then what else was it you needed to do? You need to go and find a whole bunch of different foods. So you kind of go out into the wider Guild Wars 2, all sorts of maps and expansions, and defeat certain enemies or buy food from certain vendors to fill out that. And then you have to infuse the egg. So you go to very specific locations and do different things. Like one of them was revive an ally 20 times. One of them was jump into quicksand. And you get these different infusions for your egg. And then you have to go and buy a whole bunch of saddle parts to make the saddle for your Sky Scale. And that took a lot of grinding because it takes a whole bunch of currencies that are only available as a limited amount daily. So, yes, I think that was
quite involved, huh?
Big tracks. Sorry?
It's quite involved. They don't just
involved.
give you the mount. You have to earn it.
You really have to earn that one. And I think they specifically did that for the flying mounts. The Griffin as well, you really had to earn. Because
so do you get a Griffin, but it can't fly until you learn the flying part aspect of it? Or do you not even get the Griffin?
Yeah, you don't even get the Griffin until you fully unlock it. The Griffin was a really fun one, actually, because there was an expansion that a lot of the mounts came out in called Path of Fire. And just by playing the story, you unlocked a good number of mounts. And we had all heard that the Griffin came in this expansion, so we played all the way through this story being like, okay, I'm so excited for the Griffin, I'm so excited for the Griffin. And then the Griffin never came, and the story ended. And we went, how do we get the Griffin?
Yeah, what's going on? We were promised Griffins.
Yeah, so we looked it up, and it became this epic journey. And again, I'm so glad I've got people I can play with regularly, because I think it's one of those things that would have been so boring and grindy on my own. but became really quite the fun adventure with a group of friends. Because you have to go.
Did they already have the mount?
Sorry?
Did they already have the mount and they were helping you, or was everyone new and getting it? Oh, okay. Yeah. So everyone's getting okay.
Yeah, so it was a group of 3 of us. We looked up the guide. I had it pulled up. I was like, okay, we need to make it to this point on the map. At that point on the map, you can't land on the ground because you die to thunder striking you. So,
oh, damn.
We had to use another mount that floats above the ground. And then I'm like, okay, we have to go here, but then we have to get off that mount to get onto another mount that'll go through a portal.
What the heck?
Then switch mounts as quickly as possible. And then
wow,
we finally found this one dude's carcass on this abandoned cliff at the edge of the map. And that unlocks the achievement track for you to go around and do and unlock the griffin. And as part of those achievement tracks, again, a whole bunch of different tasks you have to do through it. But one of those tasks is you go and find a griffin nest on each map, and you can temporarily mount the griffin. If you dismount, you lose the griffin. And that is the only way you then find other little parts for the achievement. So... wow. Yeah, really cool adventures, but quite the long project.
Can you switch mounts in the middle of flight, let's say, or something? Can you switch mounts on the fly?
Kind of. The griffin and the sky scale you can mount as you're falling. So
that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So if I got on the sky scale and I got up to a certain point, the sky scale is limited, and all the mounts are limited by stamina. But the sky scale has another limitation of it can only elevate so high before it runs out of its elevation juice. And you have to either land to refill that or bounce off a wall or something. Again, stuff you unlock through masteries, which just makes it all the more rewarding to keep being I want this thing. Anyway, but you could say elevate to a point on your sky scale and go, okay, I need to be over there. I'd get there faster on a griffin. And so you dismount from your sky scale, you're momentarily in the air, and you can mount your griffin and then zoom off. So yeah, or you suddenly fall and you're like, oh shoot, you can start gliding to slow you down, and then you can mount either of the sky scale or griffins, which is really cool.
I think that is cool.
Yeah, but you can't switch the other mounts on the fly. So there is actually...
certain mounts.
Yeah. There's actually a mastery unlock that we haven't got yet that would allow you to... Sorry, again, a little bit of explanation. One of the mounts is a bunny that jumps super duper high.
Yep.
So if you got this particular mastery unlock, you could say, get on your bunny, do its huge bounce, dismount the bunny at the top of that bounce, and get on your griffin and go. But
oh, look at that.
Yeah, but as it stands, we can't dismount the bunny in midair.
Okay. Do you get, is there any judgment to other players or something if they don't have certain masteries unlocked? Nah, they're not cool. They don't have X mastery unlock. Look at those noobs. Do you feel any, I guess you would only feel that if you were doing some kind of content and it required, that type of ability?
Yeah, there's absolutely, at least from us, we don't look at other players and go, oh, they haven't got that yet. Because only a couple of months we didn't have that, But there was an instance where I totally forgot that genuine access to a whole area of the map needed a mastery unlock. So we had another member of our guild do a teleport to friend that got him into the content, the map for the expansion without having to do the introduction to it. And we're like, okay, we're just going to go there to get that thing we need. And then he couldn't actually get there because he didn't have the mastery to let his mount jump over the big canyon that's the main barrier for entry.
Gotcha.
So there are definitely points in time where I go, I understand how some of these guides maybe you don't account for the fact that not everyone has all the expansions and not everyone has all the mastery unlocks. Because once you have it, it just feels like such a natural part of your gameplay.
Yeah, speaking of the guides, like, thank goodness someone figured all that out and wrote it down and, you know, made a guide for it, right? Because it sounds like it was very involved and complicated.
So complicated. And again, it's so much stuff that I'm really glad there's a really healthy database outside of the game. But at the same time, I think the game relies too much on everyone going, just check the wiki, just check the wiki.
Oh,
just
yeah,
check the wiki.
yeah.
And the game doesn't actually show you how to get started on any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of my pet peeve. Like, I feel like outside stuff is great if you want to specialize and pinpoint something, but I feel like you shouldn't have to rely on it like all the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in that sense, yeah, I kind of wish like more stuff was at least introduced or started off in the game. Like, just tell me, like, I can't even explain it, but yeah, I don't like the fact that some games are heavily reliant on outside help, that you can't even just play the game. You have to go outside the game to learn how to play the game type of thing, you know? But I don't know. Yeah, it's always a pet peeve of mine too.
Yeah.
What's your favorite mount? I wanted to ask, what's your favorite mount?
Oh,
do you have a favorite?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
The Griffin.
You do love the Griffin.
It's so wonderful. And to be fair, I decided I really wanted a particular skin for the Griffin. And it makes it into a flying cheetah, essentially.
Ooh.
And
so the skin, it makes it into a different, like, animal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I love him so much. He's got a little round cheetah face. And he does little growls, and then he'll occasionally, like, chase little things on the ground. And
so cute.
So much.
Can you name them?
No, you can't. I think that would be like
in your head. Do you name
final.
them? In your head, do you name them? Like, that's.
I kind of try to, but I forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, unless you can name them, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like our chocobos, we named that. They gave us the Billy, so like hubby's chocobos, Franklin, mine's Coco. But yeah, so that's why I was wondering if you could name your mountain.
I think that would not really be the cherry on the cake if you could name them.
It? Yeah, if you could name them, yeah, that'd be so cute. I mean, you can't name mounts in Final Fantasy 14. You just have a chocobo you can name, but yeah, I think it would be cool. But I guess maybe the limitation would be there's probably tons and tons of mounts, right? So that's probably tons and tons of names and stuff. But yeah, just a little bit of extra fun.
Yeah, at the moment we've got 6 mounts, and there's about to be the Warclaw, so 7 that you pretty regularly switch between. I still think it would be nice to name them because there's
be nice.
So much personality in each one.
Yeah, it sounds like it because you were just like, oh, the cheetah face, you know. So it's so much. So you said the Warclaw was more for PvP. Have you tried PvP?
Not at all. There is so much of the game we still haven't tried. We haven't tried PvP. We haven't tried World v World. We still haven't done any strikes. We still haven't done any raids. Strikes are, they're like one boss raids from what I understand.
Oh, okay. They didn't have that when I played. All right.
No,
that's something new.
I think they got introduced later. We've been told they're great fun, but we just haven't gotten to it.
You haven't got to it. Yeah, you got too much to do.
Yeah. Like last night, sorry to ramble, but you asked what we were working on.
Yes. What were you working on?
We needed mastery points for the base game because there are a bunch of really useful mastery unlocks. And you both have to get the experience for it and you need the points for it. So like in the base game, there's stuff like you can revive companions faster, or you get more experience for crafting, or you can do certain things in fractals, which are like dungeons. All great utility stuff that we want. But mastery points are much harder to get than in the expansions. And a lot of them are locked behind achievements. So yesterday, we were running around the main player city called Lion's Arch, shooting crab bugs. And we just had like a great little hide and seek, like treasure find adventure come out because we just wanted this one mastery point. And this is why we just haven't gotten to anything else, because we go, I want that. How do I get that? We do this. Well, that's going to need this. Okay, well, let's get together. And if we all get together, it'll be a bit of fun. And we spent like 3 hours searching the city, being like, I hear a bug. I hear a bug. Where is it? Where is it? Everyone converge on my location, find the bug. It was just an achievement of, you had to exterminate 50 bugs around the city, and it turned into a great little treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Find.
But it sounds like you had fun, right? So it's like
So
you
much
spent
fun.
like, it's like one mastery point you make it sound like, but it's like, but you're having fun, right? So.
Yeah. So, like you said, content keeps seeming to spring up as soon as I go, I feel kind of done. And then someone else will go, I want to do this thing. And suddenly we have a whole new thing to pursue. And it's really cool.
Exactly. Speaking of that, like vein, like I was doing crafting, leveling up my crafters, and I was like, okay, so I'm 100. And then I was like, what do I do now? And then people are like, well, you got to now pentameld your gear.
What?
And I'm like, what? So the gears have like these melding slots, and for the crafted gear, there can be up to like 5 slots. So that's why it's pentameld. So each meld, there's like 2, but then you overmeld, and you can overmeld, I guess, up to like 5 slots. So it's pentamelding, but each overmeld reduces the chance for it to be successful. So it's like 17%, 10%, like 5, like. I'm like, what the heck? So you lose like tons of materia trying to meld this, and it's quite the grind because you have to farm, and you have to craft, and you turn in the craft for scripts, and then you use the scripts to buy materia, and it's like a whole like process. So I spent like days trying to pentameld my gear. So it's not fully pentamelded, but it's getting there.
So
but
what's
it's
the
like
benefit of it?
So the benefit of it is let's say for gathering. Even at the gear itself is not enough for you to successfully gather as much as you can. Like how much you might not be able to reach 100% gathering, or your perception isn't high enough to get enough of to get a lot of it in one hit or stuff like that. So you want to up your stats, and to up your stats, that's what the melding process is. Like each little slot, you can attach materia, which is like extra stats you can add to the gear or the tools or whatever. So in crafting, there's like your progress. There's like, I don't know what I forgot what they were called. Like it's command, competence, and something else. But it's like, and instead of like a mana bar or a health bar, they have a separate like crafting points or gathering points, so you can increase the pool of that. And in order to do that, you have to attach the correct materia onto it. So if you don't have because I don't think it has to be like pentamelded, but you need definitely overmelded gear, because you want a successful chance at crafting the high-end stuff that sells, I guess, for a lot of guild, for the savage raiders and stuff. But so if you don't have it high enough, you're gonna fail. So you want that percentage high. In order to do that, you need to like do all this overmelding. So it's like a never-ending. It's like not never-ending, but it's like this big grinding process. Because they're like, well, it's going to be really costly if you don't pentameld, because you're going to fail, and you wasted all those materials to, the crafting mats to do that. So in in Final Fantasy 14, there's like Savage Raiders, right? Savage is like the hardest content. And then there's Savage Crafters, I want to say, because it's like, it's like a big grind to just get to that point to be able to craft the high-end gear, so that the Savage Raiders, because you're crafting this high-end gear to sell to the Savage Raiders so that they can do the hardest content. Because you can't, the crafted gear with this pentamelded stuff is a higher eye level than what you can get in the game when you first start like Savage Raiding. So that's why Savage Raiders want that. So Savage Raiders need that from the crafters. Now you can be your own crafter, but I've heard people commission it out, and they will spend millions of gil to have like their full out, all the gear to go Savage Raiding on day one. So that's why it's like this mad rush to get, your crafters hot, 100 pentamelded and stuff like that, and then craft the pentamelded battle gear for the Savage Raiders. So it's like, there's Savage Raiders, and then savage crafters, I want to say. So it's like, yeah, it's a whole other thing.
That's
It's a whole other like profession. It really is. Is crafting important in Guild Wars 2?
I'm actually at a similar point to you with crafting, because there's a lot of crafting in Guild Wars 2. You have crafting for each level of armor, so your heavy, medium, light. There's crafting for each array of weaponry, so like your woodworking weaponry, like bows and stuff and such. Your more bejeweled weaponry, like staves and scepters, and then your more hack and slash weaponry, like swords and daggers. And then you've got cooking, and then you've got gems that like go into the gear to add stats.
Yes.
So yes, there's a lot of crafting, and I know Final Fantasy has a ton of crafting professions, but yeah, I've got a few of mine up to level 400, which is kind of where you can craft the second best gear in the game.
Ooh, okay.
But that's expensive, and it's a little bit of a time sink. And so I've got a few,
time sink for sure.
Yeah, few professions up to there. And I'm like, okay, surely now I can make stuff and participate and sell.
Yes.
And then I found out there's a whole nother 100 levels to go to make like the best gear. And so I'm sitting here like, I'm broke.
It's a money sink. Exactly.
It really is. I don't know how to make money out of it.
Right?
And I'm broke.
Because they're like, exactly. Because there's a couple ways to level up in Final Fantasy. You can power level your way through. So the fastest method would be to buy mats off the market board to craft stuff, right? But you're spending money. So I was in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to level up my crafters really fast. I spent like 1,000,000 gil to get like a few levels, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I'm like, I was like, no, I got to figure out a different way. So I figured out, I call it like a filthy casual method. It's like, I only do the things that give it like big chunks of EXP. So like the Grand Company daily turn-ins, there's like Allied Society quests, it's a daily turn-in. There's custom deliveries, which are weekly turn-ins. All these are like big chunks of EXP. So I do that, and then I go on with my life. And then I was just doing those daily and stuff and weekly. And pretty soon I got, to max level. And I was making money because I was kind of like, every time I had to do, like, if it was whether it was part of a quest or a turn-in, I would make an extra set. And then I would, like, jack up the price on that. But it wasn't me on my own doing it. I would see a price on the market board, and I would just put it, like, for, like, 1,000 gil less or something, So it wasn't, I didn't start this, but I was definitely going to be part of it.
Yep, so, I understand.
So stuff we're selling sometimes for, like, over 100,000 gil. And I was like, people actually pay this much? I was like, okay. So every time I had to do a turn-in, I created an extra set, and I put it on the market board, and sure enough, people were buying them. So I made some. I actually made money crafting. Whereas when I was trying to do it the fastest way, I was losing like so much. Like I told you, I was down 1,000,000 gil. I was like, I had to stop. I was like, I'm gonna be broke. I can't do this. So yeah, it's definitely a money sink. So I was like, I can't do it. Can you sell stuff in Guild Wars 2 to make money? Like
you can.
Like do you have turn-ins? You can. Okay.
The player trade. Oh well, there's not really turn-ins. From what I remember of Final Fantasy 14. They were almost like quest boards that you can go to and turn it in for a small reward.
Yeah, those are like the leave quests, but there's also like the Grand Company turn-ins where they're like, it rotates on a daily basis and based on your level, but they're like, make me or bring me this. You don't have to make it, you can just buy it off the market board, and then we'll give you a reward. We'll give you flame seals or seals and some gil and tons of EXP. So, and that's, I think, why people were buying them, because, they're like, I just want a fast level. So it's like you're taking advantage of people who have a lot of money. So I was wondering in the Guild Wars 2, if you can make money similarly or something. I don't know, like.
Maybe? I'm not sure. There is player trading, and the player trading is very alive and healthy. Almost everything can be player traded. There's a few account ban things. Was I going to say? But there's no like questing rewards related to crafting, as far as I'm aware. And then there's a whole another crafting system called the Mythic Forge, which I still do not understand in the slightest because the game
Is that
does not explain it. And I haven't been bothered.
Is that the legendary weapon stuff? That sounds familiar. Mythic. Yeah, I remember I made a staff, a raven staff, I think.
Ooh.
Legendary weapon. But I can't Mythic Forge, that word, those two words sounded familiar, but I can't tell you what I did with it or anything like that. But
yeah,
I just remember it was quite the grind. It was quite the grind. I want to say, did I even have a spreadsheet? I feel like I had a spreadsheet of all the things I needed and where to get them and stuff. So
yeah, and some of it is time gated. Like you can only get certain things a certain amount every day, and yeah, so everything that I can craft or make sells for very, very little.
So you have to level it up more, maybe?
Yeah. I know.
It's like, how do you make money? I know. Yeah. Now that my people are 100, I'm like, I don't know how to make money. I was taking advantage of people leveling up, selling it at a premium price. But now that I'm 100, and so I'm 100, that means other people are already 100. So I'm like, I don't know how to make money now. Unless I go back and make like level 80 gear or something to like sell. But I'm like, I don't really want to waste my time doing that. But I don't know. It's something to figure out, but I'm like, I don't, people say like, yeah, just level up your people to 100 and make money. I'm like, how? I have to look that up.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's something we can figure out, and I'll sit down at some point, but at the moment it's on the back burner.
So, do you, I was just going to ask, does Guild Wars 2 have any add-ons or mods that you have, not that you have to play with, but make your life easier?
Yes. There's only one that I've seen recommended everywhere and that we use, and that's the damage passer.
Okay. Is it ACT? I feel like they used ACT. It might be
maybe
different. I don't know. It's fine. It's not important. It's a DPS meter though. That's basically what it is. Yeah.
Arc. I think it's called Arc. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just so good because, it's not like you have specific DPS roles and healing roles and tank roles where as long as you're holding aggro or as long as you're keeping people alive or as long as things die in a relatively decent time, you kind of know that you're doing your job. So without any in-game damage passer, it's like, am I playing this right? Like, how am I measuring up to other people? I have no scale of whether I need to be like really practicing something or looking into a new build. I have no reference to how well I'm doing, even against my own builds. So that was one we absolutely installed. And then there were add-ons for that add-on that I've used for healing and buff upkeep time. So those are really helpful.
Does Guild Wars 2 have a policy against that? Like Final Fantasy 14, it's basically not allowed. You can't use, that's not that you can't use, it's not allowed. But so here's the difference. Like you can use it. Like there's a DPS meter, I think it's ACT. I don't know if they call it ACT or it's ACT, but ACT for Final Fantasy 14. So you can use it. It's not frowned upon. I think someone even said Yoshi P, they saw a screenshot or something of Yoshi P using it too. But the thing is, you can't use the third-party add-ons or mods to hurt or detriment, like say negative things about other people. Like you can't say you're not allowed in this group because your damage is too low. You can't use it against someone else. Like you can use it, but you better not mention it, to or anything like that. So, and which I understand because they try really hard, I believe, to weed out toxic people or and the toxicity in the game and stuff. So in Final Fantasy 14, it's almost to a point where sometimes we feel bad if we're starting a new job and we're like, oh, I feel so bad, I don't know what I'm doing, but here I am in a group, but at the same time we're like, but they're not allowed to say anything, they can't tell us that we're bad.
Yes. Very
but
good.
you need these damage meters, I believe, for what you were saying, to even like to see how you're doing yourself, because you want to progress and be better, right? So how do you know that? Because you need a point of reference. So I kind of feel like you do need those damage meters to see, okay, so last time I did this, boss, dungeon, whatever, I was doing this. And then you see if you can progress upon, like, what can I do better? Because they freaking, like, analyze it down. Like, they tell you, like, how long this dot was up for, how much you healed, how, all this kind of stuff. So they even have websites where you put in the logs and it'll tell you like what you need help on, like Smash. My
Whoa.
hubby was telling me he, like, I don't know, he put the log into some website. I forgot the name of it. And because I wanted to know how I could improve. And they're like, well, I don't know if this is true or not, but according to the website, they're like, you are sitting on your cooldowns and you're not using something enough times. And after I heard that, I was like, okay, next time we were, doing that boss or whatever, or the dungeon, I made an effort to like, okay, I need to use these certain cooldowns more, and I need to do this. And sure enough, I got like purple parses, and I was in the gray, and now I got purple. It's like gray, green, blue, purple, orange, I think, right? So I was like, so it's helpful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're not using it to belittle other people, you're using it to help yourself, be a better player type of thing. So
Exactly.
I guess, yeah, you're using it in that sense too, I guess, right? Like, because you were saying like you to gauge how you're doing, right?
Yeah, because, we started and we found weapons we liked for our classes, and, we hit things and it died. And then we got to the expansion content, and suddenly every ad was on the verge of killing us. And we went, what happened? What are we doing? How do we do better? And then you'd watch videos of people just destroying this stuff. And so it was a mixture of, I want to know how I'm doing, and okay, maybe I'll start looking up guides. But I like messing around with some of my own stuff before I go, I have to play this and only this because this is the meta.
Exactly. Yes.
And one of the big things I found was that in Guild Wars, you can switch between two weapons on like 6-second, I think it is, cooldown. So your one weapon will have 5 abilities and your other weapon will have 5 abilities. And technically, if you utilize your weapon swaps, you can be using those big damage abilities for each weapon off cooldown. Whereas I had just gone, I like this weapon, I'm going to stick with this weapon, and I just auto attack until the cooldown has come off. And so that was big, seeing like, oh, my damage dramatically improves by switching and doing
just like
this kind of stuff.
Swapping weapons and stuff. Now the weapon swaps, can you swap? Is it only between 2 weapons, or can you swap between all? Okay, yeah, 2 weapons. Yeah. So simple stuff like that, right? And then you like dramatically improve. So it's great.
Exactly, it's so good. And I just think it's great for self-improvement, for encouraging each other, so that if you're in a group constantly, like I have been, and things die, I kind of go, I hit it. was that enough?
Yeah, exactly.
And then at least with the damage passer, I can go, oh, I did a fraction of the damage that everyone else did. I need to look at something else. Doing something a bit differently. Yeah. So that's where I think that's really useful.
Yeah, exactly. First time around, I'm just like, it's a progression. Like, when I first started Dawn Trail, Final Fantasy 14, it's like I'm just going through the story, gonna just do what I do. But then it wasn't until I reached harder content, and we were still getting through it. But I'm like, I want to be better, like because sometimes it's dependent on the whole group, the makeup of the group comp or whatever, but how much damage people are doing. But sometimes dungeon clears are like really smooth and it's really fast, and then other times it's like taking twice as long, and stuff like that. And it's like, because people aren't, there's like skill gaps or whatever, but but I'm not saying it to see, how other people can improve. It's like, now it got me thinking, well, what can I do to make it smoother, right? So then, okay, so I know already I can get through all the content. That's fine. Not all the content, like Savage content. I don't do Savage content, but all the current content I can do fine. But now I was like, but there's some things that I'm not good at. So I wanted to like, focus in on that. So that's when I was like, okay, let me pull up a guide, or let me search if there is even a guide, right? And like there was this one dungeon where 2 of the bosses, I'm like, it's utter chaos. I'm like, I don't know what the hell is happening. it's just RNG whether I live or not. I'm like, I don't know. So then I looked it up and they're like, oh, well, the first time around they target like the furthest person from them. And the second time around they target the closest, so I'm like, with that knowledge, I was like, oh, so then I can bait it. I'm usually, I'm a caster, so I'm usually the healer. So I can be the furthest one so that people know like, you guys don't have to even worry about that because that thing's coming from me. So then I will move it to someplace else, type of thing. So I can bait it and then move it. So it's like stuff like that where I can help to make the fights better, easier. And it helps me understand like what the hell is going on, right? So it's like, so first time around, I'm just doing my thing. Second time, and then I'm like, okay, I want to do better. So then I will look up guides. It's like, okay, do that. And then now I'm at the point where, okay, because hubby has the DPS meter and I'm like, a parser or whatever. I'm like, how'd I do on that one? It's like, it's like, now I want to be better. It's like, it goes in stages. Like, okay, so I want to be better now. So how'd I do on that one? Did I do better? Type of thing.
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of external guides for Guild Wars that will be like, the best of the best players are passing this amount of DPS. So, kind of the top of the top is between 40 to 45,000 DPS per second. And so I go in and I'm like, do. Oh, I'm doing 10,000 DPS per second. Okay, that's better than I was doing, but there's clearly more I can be doing. And that helps keeps you motivated, I think.
I think so too, for sure.
Yeah. But like, in that vein, now that you've been playing Dawn Trail for a while, what are your thoughts on the expansion overall?
Story-wise, it's like, I don't know, it's in my head now, it's gotten worse and worse. Like, even though I haven't like redone the story or anything, but thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, the story wasn't that great. I'm like, meh,
Interesting. Why is that?
I just think, looking back at it, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. First of all, why did we agree to go help this person on this competition that's like halfway around the world or something? I know I'm an adventurer, I'm something, but I feel like, so just like that, I just said, yeah, I'm going to help them. I just feel like it was
needed a little more motivation.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like, I don't know. I didn't need to help them save the world. It's just like, okay, I'll help you win this competition, I guess, out of the goodness out of my heart. I don't know, something like that, It just seemed a little bit fractured and forced. And like, so the end content right now, like the Savage Raids, the raids and the Savage Raids, they're like, it's like a wrestling ring. It's like a tournament competition. Like, it's like it's a big ring and different. You just have the first 4, bosses that we have to down. It's like there's no story behind it. It's just we're thrown in this competition to win in like a wrestling. I say wrestling match, but it's just anything that's in like a square. It could be MMA, type of. But it's just like you're just fighting each other. There's no ripping like you have to do this to save the world. It's just can you fight in the ring for us? It's like. I don't know how it fits in the story. It's like, okay, I'll do it. Like the content is fun in terms of like, people sometimes complain about the dungeons being too hard or the content just in general being too hard, but I don't think it's too hard personally. I think it is challenging, but that's where I think like repetition helps. Like there was a point, even like yesterday, I was just chain running the same dungeon. Hubby wasn't even with me. I was just solo queuing because I just wanted to be better at it, type of thing, right? So, so I was doing that. So I think a lot of it is maybe I don't know because I didn't pay enough attention in the previous expansions if they were easier or harder. But I did ask someone, a friend of ours who had played for years, like straight through, never took a break, right? And she says it's not harder. She says she doesn't think the content is harder. So I don't know if people are expecting easier content, like maybe. I don't know, maybe they're comparing it to other games, like current games, and maybe the difficulty is harder than other games in general. I have no idea, but...
Or do you think it's, something of, it's been 3 years since Endwalker released, and, people get the chance to have max gear, and it gets easier the more you play, and so you forget how hard it was on launch?
Yeah.
Do you think it might be something like that?
before Dawn Trail started, there was even talk of healer strike, healers going on strike because healers are not needed. Because there was,
I saw that.
People were talking about like they can get through a dungeon without any healer. And it's like, so now that Dawn Trail, people are experiencing that and it's harder and people actually have to heal. And now it's like, oh, dungeons are too hard. It's like, okay, at first you were complaining it's not hard enough that you don't need a healer. Now it's so hard. So it's like, now it's too hard. But so there's always going to be, I think, people complaining about stuff. But I thought it was kind of fun. Yeah, healers are going to go on strike. There's going to be a healer strike. It's like, and people, I'm like, not me. I'm not on a healer strike. I'm going to heal, guys. It's
jolly good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whew. All right, so we talked a lot about the MMOs. Is there any other? Yeah, I know, right? It's so fun. I know. I love MMOs. I love them.
So much fun. It's always a bit of a phase.
Yeah, it is. I know, right? Because I would go a couple years without playing MMO. But like once you get in, it's like it just sucks you in. Yeah. And MMO brain is still going for me. So, like I said, I might take a couple days off just to play another game because I don't know what to stream otherwise. I don't want to stream farming. I might stream one day for sure of clearing like the weekly resets, like the raids reset on Tuesday, so I can do that. And I think maybe that would be kind of entertaining. But other than that, I'm like, I don't know. So I will probably try to find another game.
Yeah. I understand.
What about you? Are you? Yeah, you said you were thinking of doing something similar.
Yeah, there's a few games I've got on the brain in terms of jumping back into streaming with. Kind of wanting to go back and check out Warhammer again. Rogue Trader,
okay, yeah.
Because there was a huge patch about a month or two back now that supposedly fixed a bunch of things.
Yes.
And I have to admit, I have been thinking about it. There's also a couple of games that have just been on the back burner for me that I want to really try. One being Troubleshooters. I heard that it was a bit of a hidden gem. It's been in my library for a long time. And it's apparently kind of XCOM-y with some really cool characters and story beats.
Did you ever play XCOM, by the way?
I did, yes.
Okay.
XCOM 2.
XCOM 2. Yeah, I've never played either of them before. I just recently played like one night of XCOM 2. Wait, was it XCOM 2? I don't know. There was something that was on my back burner that I played recently. But it's like, because people are always mentioning like XCOM 2 is, they compare, other games to XCOM. So it's like, well, shouldn't I know what XCOM is about if everyone's comparing?
So much gets compared to XCOM. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you played it. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
What are the games?
Oh, and then there's a couple of things I keep being like, man, I really want to do a full run of a couple of series. One is Dragon Age, because
guess
it's not Dreadwolf anymore. What's it called?
Veilguard. Veilguard. Yep.
Now has a release date.
Yes, October 31st.
Yeah. So I keep going, man, I kind of want to go back and do a run of all the games. At the same time, I'm still holding out a desperate hope that Dragon Age Origins is going to get remastered or something. Because, boy, that game looks old now.
Yeah, exactly. I loved Origins, though.
Yeah.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah, Origins was the first one. And everyone I've met and talked to who's also in the CRPG space goes, I loved Origins. I loved Origins. And I go, I have very different memories of Origins.
Really?
I played it before I had any idea what real time with pause was.
Okay.
And I just, at the time, I could not get my head around it. I hated it so much. So I kind of want to go back and give it another shot.
Yeah, definitely then. Like that's the one that out of the, I don't know the names of them, but I know Origins, and then I guess is it just Dragon Age? I mean,
just 2, I think.
2 and 3. Like, and then there's another one after that, right?
Inquisition.
Yeah. So the first one I played multiple times. This I remember. I just wanted, different endings and different, because you can pick different companions to, group. I just wanted a different experience, right? The second one, I just remember I forced myself to finish it. And the third one, I don't even think I played. I was like, no, they're not going to fool me again. So I'm actually not really, like, I have mixed feelings about Veilguard because I'm like, I know I loved the heck out of the first one.
Mhm.
They just kind of let me down with the second, and I didn't even try the third one. But I don't think the third one got good reviews anyway.
The third one
Because I think I was waiting.
fantastic. Third one got like Game of the Year.
Oh,
Got fantastic
okay.
reviews, but
Mm-hmm.
it was then blown out of the water by The Witcher 3 a year later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking up Witcher 3. They're like, you have to play Witcher 3. What? You didn't play Witcher 3? So yeah. I bought it. I finally bought it. It was on a mega Steam sale for like 80% off. I was like, okay, fine. I finally bought it, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, people are like, you gotta play it. Okay. So,
That's
something.
what I got as well. I would love to exchange opinions if you do ever end up playing Witcher 3.
So you did play it and finish it, Witcher 3?
I did.
Okay. All right, yeah. I'll move it up on my back burner then. Then yeah, we can compare notes on that one. Hubby's always saying it's great. So yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about Veilguard, but it sounds like are you looking to play it on launch type of like excitement for it?
Okay.
Okay.
I really want to talk about this.
Yes, let's talk about it.
All the way through all the teaser drops that BioWare was doing for Dreadwolf, when it was still Dreadwolf, or codename Dreadwolf or whatever, it was only ever concept art. And in my head, I was going, this game is never coming out. Or if it is, they have no idea what they're making. Like, nothing was talked about from a gameplay or plot perspective. And I was like, I don't trust this. I don't trust what BioWare's been doing. I don't trust EA. I don't trust anything. Then, a few months ago, I think it was the XCOM. Is it the Xbox showcase or the Game Summer
Maybe
Games
the summer
showcase?
one? I don't remember, but yeah, they mentioned it. They showcased it or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Then they dropped the trailer, they dropped gameplay, and I was really not interested until I saw someone getting really hyped about the gameplay because the trailer had made quite a negative impact. And online, I saw people suddenly being like, guys, wait, we're saved. Like the gameplay came out. I was like, gameplay came out?
Okay.
I'll check that out. And the gameplay looked stunning. Like really quite cool. And so I have a renewed interest. I am interested. I still do not trust BioWare and I do not trust EA. So it will not be a play on release for me.
Do we have to go into that? Do we have to examine this more deep analysis there?
My deep-seated trust issues.
Did they do you wrong?
Hold on, no, I don't have enough tissues for that today. But yeah, so it won't be a day one buy for me, but I will be keeping a real interested eye on reviews. And if they're good, then yeah, I'm actually kind of excited.
Okay, that's good.
I want to check it out as long as people say it's good.
Yeah. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about it. I watched parts of the most recent trailer, which I thought came out like a couple days ago or something.
There was a recent one, yes.
Right? I was thinking like maybe we should do a live react on that. I don't know your thoughts if you want to.
That would be fun. I have been avoiding it because once I went, okay, now I'm interested, and I've seen a few things that they're saying that make me go, they're saying all the right things. Once I went, I'm interested, I stopped paying attention to all the media release because I didn't want to be spoiled too much. You want to avoid all those spoilers and stuff. So maybe we can do that. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about Veilguard. I mean, I hope it does well because, like I said, I do have fond memories of the first one, and I mean, I wouldn't mind playing it again. But it's definitely not going to be on launch play for me. But I mean, if it goes on one of those mega sales, I will definitely pick it up. Type of thing. Yes.
So we can definitely compare notes at some point about that. Yeah,
I'm excited. It'll be fun to see. But what about you? What games are you thinking of weaving in with Final Fantasy XIV?
So I think the most recent game that I was kind of more than just started was the Warhammer 40K Mechanicus.
Oh yeah, what kind of game is that?
Okay. I don't know what game is it does it remind me of? Is it I don't I don't know. It's definitely turn-based, so it's not like real
Mm-hmm.
time. It's
Mm-hmm.
you do have to recruit companions, and it's one of those it's kind of a strategy game where I feel it is a little bit more hardcore because you can fail. It's one of those I failed the first mission and I thought the game
Oh.
was over, but it kept continuing and I was like, "What?" But then someone was saying like it's one of those it can snowball against you because since you failed and you didn't I don't know if you need to get more resources or something so you can't do something else. So it's almost like you're destined to fail again, you know, type of thing
Mm-hmm.
because you're not getting stronger, but the other team, I guess. And there's a timer. There's some kind of timer thing where if it reaches 100, it's basically game over. And my thing is already maybe a third full, and I'm like,
Oh, geez. Oh, stress. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, do I lower the difficulty or do I just start over fresh? You know, because it was my first time doing it. Um, I can't think of it enough to explain what kind of game it is. I'm blanking out. It's definitely maybe more
Tactics or more RPG, do you think?
more tactics, I would say.
Okay.
It's there's definitely story on it too, but it's more tactics. I think you have to I'm just blanking and I hate it's like it's one of those I can't it's I know it's been a long time, but I also have like I don't know, I feel like I forget a lot of things lately, so it's like what? But I do want to go back to it anyway. I know I was having fun with it. I'm still really enamored with the whole lore and the 40K world. Like I'm listening to an audiobook, about it, and it's really great. I've been trying to pick from different factions. Like the first one was like from like an Inquisitor perspective. Second one was from more of a well, the one I'm on now is like it's not from maybe the orcs perspective, but there's a lot more orcs involved, and I think they're
Oh.
kind of funny. I don't know, I love them. So it's really cool to see all the different factions and stuff and experience it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try to complete that one. If not that, then probably maybe like RimWorld. And these are all
Oh.
like I have a whole bunch that I want to do, but it's kind of like it's like it can change at any moment, guys. It's like
Yes.
don't hold me to it. Just because I mentioned it
That's
doesn't mean it's
exactly
like
how
set
I
in stone.
feel. Yeah.
It's like because I want to get to it, but something might happen. So I don't. That's why I'm kind of like, do I put this out in the world? Because what if they try to hold me to it? It's like I don't know if I'm actually gonna do it, guys. But it's definitely on my to-do list type of
It's on
thing.
the brain.
So
Yeah.
yes, it's definitely on the brain. Just like I didn't know I was gonna be doing Final Fantasy, and yet here we are. Like almost like it's like definitely more than a month and a half or something. It's like I'm still going strong in it. I don't. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
And again, we do this for fun, and sometimes what's fun is a game we didn't anticipate. So
Exactly. Did you ever finish You were playing Unicorn Overlord?
Overlord, I didn't finish. And I'm kind of sad about it, but I'm not sure that I feel super compelled to go back.
Yeah.
It was at a time when I was also playing. What else was I playing? Was it Warhammer as well?
Could be. I think it was around that time.
Yeah, I was weaving it in with another game, and I was not getting enough story or character out of it. So the tactics was amazing. I still think, wow, that was such a cool game. Beautiful, like amazing tactics game that just every step of the way was adding something new to play with. But without any real good character motivation or story connection, I just kind of lost motivation to play.
I hear you.
So, yeah.
I hear you. So it's
Bit
not
of a pity.
It's a maybe. Kind of a maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Not interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I had a good time with it, and honestly, I think that's it. I don't feel a strong compulsion to go back.
Are there any others on your backlog that jump up or stand out type of thing?
So many.
So many? I
know. But yeah, like you said, like it's a constant bounce in my head of, do I go back and play some real old CRPGs that I'm constantly recommended? I really want to do a run of the 2 Pillars of Eternity games before Avowed comes out. Like,
when is that one coming out?
I believe it was announced for February next year, or it was like leaked on Steam for February. So don't take my word for that.
Okay, sometime next year though. But yeah, so it's still a few months out. Because I have not played Pillars of Eternity either, and I know that was like highly recommended as well. So I was like, okay.
I think I'm the one who will recommend that one at every opportunity. I do think very counterintuitively, if you are interested in playing, I think the second one is
I already bought it.
Oh yeah, great. I think the second one is much easier to get into, even though it follows directly on from the first one. My recommendation would be just watch a recap of the first one for what you need to know, and go into the second one, because it's both. It starts much stronger. It has full voice acting. It looks prettier. The combat is easier to kind of get a handle on. Because the first one is totally worthwhile, but it's not voice acted, and it's very wordy and very long.
Gotcha.
And the intro is very slow.
A lot of talking, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of you having to like speak and talk it out type of thing. Say what's on the screen. Gotcha. Alrighty. Okay, I think that's a wrap for this episode. I know we like went way over time, but I had a feeling that we had a lot to talk about, so it's all good, you know?
I had fun chatting about MMO stuff.
Yeah, I love it, because I'm like, I need to talk to someone about this, you know? I'm having a blast, but it's like, who do I talk to, you know?
Yes.
I can talk to hubby, which I do,
notes.
but yeah, compare notes, exactly. Especially since, I mean, I guess it would be more accurate if we were playing the same game, but it's also a different perspective, because like we're playing 2 different, but they're both MMOs, and I love that we can still talk about just MMOs, you know,
MMOs in general. You know, we've both played, and we've played a little bit of each one, and I think that makes it kind of fun to talk about what's new and what's going on.
Exactly. Alrighty, so we're gonna wrap it up for episode 8. For those that want to catch us outside of Girls That Game, Flewt, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube at featuringFlewt, and Twitch as well, featuringFlewt. TikTok, if that is your thing, at ft_flute. And we, the Girls That Game, are on Spotify for all your listening needs.
Yes. And I'm AlteredCalyx. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter/X, all under AlteredCalyx. And that's a wrap. Woo-hoo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Calyx,
Bye.
I hope you feel better soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.